Alrighty, everyone, welcome back to another video. I hope you all have an amazing day, and I hope you all enjoy this video. Thank you all so much for tuning in. Today, we've already got a bit of progress going off camera. Just wanted to see what was possible, and I wasn't sure what to do for this. So basically, the problem was, as you saw in the last video, we painted the rims here. All 6 of them got painted, right? Now, the issue is it turned into a speckle paint job. I don't know how. I'm really new to this. It's only my second time painting rims, and it turned into a speckle. Literally, like, if you've ever seen a ceiling with the speckle, it was literally like that, but across the entirety of the rim. Maybe I just was too quick, like I was moving too fast, and so it didn't have time to set, and it was like lingering in the air around the around it a bit too long, which let it sit on it and like build up. I really don't know. That's the only thing I can think of though. And so I used some 3000 grit sandpaper this morning and tried it out, and I was able to smooth everything out. And it only took me like 3 minutes, 4 minutes. I don't know. It was like 30 seconds a tire to smooth out the paint. It was really easy, really nice. I was completely silver by the end of the process, literally. Like, my hands were just silver. But we got it done. It's looking good. I'm very happy with it so far. Like, all of it is nice and smooth now, all the way around. And like, my hands are right there. There's water on it. I rinsed it off after sanding it. And so I'm going to have to rinse it again. There's a bit of dirt and whatnot, but it's still a bit of paint, like the dust. So I'm trying to let it dry a little bit before I give it a second rinse, but I might just give it a second rinse right now since I'm noticing so much there. So yeah, that doesn't really matter though. We're making progress. It's coming along. The 3000 grit sandpaper worked really well for smoothing out the paint, and now we're able to go ahead, rinse it, and then do another coat, right? Now, we've also made progress on the Yamaha here. If you watched the last video, we took the Yamaha out in the forest, did some mudding, and we did a first person by putting the camera with the tripod here in between the handlebar and the dash here of the front light. And so now the issue is our back brake is squeaking, right? I don't know really why it was squeaking, other than as I took it apart, I realized that the one brake pad was the rear brake pad was fallen forward and like stuck against the rotor, and then the rotor was pushed on an angle out of place, and it was rubbing against this outer brake pad, and so both brake pads were rubbing on a bit of an angle. And so I've got them back in place. I've got they're just barely rubbing, right? It just barely started, so it's pretty level. I'm not worried about it. What I've done here is I've put grease all over the axle and the seal so that it doesn't dry out. And I've moved the rotor back and forth 5 or 6 times while applying grease to the axle so that the entire inside of the rotor there is greased. Hopefully we don't have any issues with rust, right, in the long term. Now for the rotor, for the brake pads here, same thing, right? Went ahead and filled the back of the brake pad here with grease, and then pushed the mechanism. So this little thing that's sticking out is a little circle. It has a little disc on the end of it, and that slides into here, right? So when you're pulling on the brake, it spins this and pushes out, and then that pushes this out against the rotor, right? Oh shit! Oh no! No! The grease. Oh no! Off camera. I'm gonna have to redo that real quick. Damn it. So basically, yeah. So the mechanism here spins and presses this brake pad through this hole. It pushes it through the hole against the rotor, right? The rotor slides through the gap here, and it'll press it against the brake pad in the back here, right? There's another brake pad slid down inside of here, And to get it to stay in place better, what I've done is I've also filled the back of it with the grease before putting it in, and now it's stuck in place, right? I can shake it all around, hit it on the ground, it's not moving. So I'm hoping that we can do some wheelies and just have fun and not worry about it coming out, right? Also went around the edge. You see how it's a bit wet there? It's because of the grease. I put grease just along the edge, on the top edge of the I tried to avoid the actual brake pad, but the edge of the plastic that holds it in place here, right? See how there's a brake pad and then there's the plastic around the edge? I tried to cover this plastic edge here to try and seal it and stick it into place a little bit even more. Again, just try and stop that brake pad from falling out, because that's part of the issue, right? It had fallen out. Now, to get to this point, right, if you're trying to do this, you've got your four wheel nuts here, which are a 12 millimeter. And then you got 3 screws. You've got a couple screws here, these tiny little ones. These little tiny screws, 3 of them, I had to use a torch along the back side of it to heat up the nut and get the rust to let go, right? But it literally, without the heat, I couldn't move them. It wouldn't budge. With the heat, it took like 3 minutes, right? A minute a nut. It was really easy. Got them out. And the brake caliper, the cover doesn't have to come off all the way. The rotor doesn't have to come off all the way. If you're doing this at home, you don't have to take the actual hub off. You could technically just take the hub off and leave the wheel on the hub, and then you'd only have 1 bolt to take off. But then you have to mess with the cotter pin. And the cotter pin, well, that's a pain in the ass. I'm not dealing with that. That's more pain in the ass than the grease. So let's see. This grease here is now covered in dirt. Get all of this dirt out of this grease. Alrighty, so let's see what we got here. Got my hands washed, ready to try and do this. I'm not sure how this is gonna work or how you guys are gonna see what I'm trying to do here. Trying to figure out a semi-decent position. I can't see the screen, so I literally I can't see the screen. I can't really see if it's good or not, but I hope this is gonna work. So to get this back together here, I want to show you all the process and walk you all through it here quickly. So we're going to be putting the caliper around the rotor, and then we're going to push the rotor back up into spot here. Oops. You got to make sure that the caliper is lined up with the actual spot for the caliper, right? Pretty basic. I didn't line it up. Stupid me. So now we're gonna put our bolts back into place here. Now I really have no idea. Did we get it? There you go. We got that bolt in just a little bit. Now there's these little pieces here. I don't know if you can see that again, but it's got a flat edge and a curved edge. The idea is the flat edge sits against the differential and the curved edge is on the opposite side. So basically it's a washer, a spacer, but it also kind of like stops anything from spinning at the same time by the shape of it. So it's pretty cool. A spacer that doesn't move because of the shape. Now, we got the 2 bolts kind of in place there at the back. We'll see. I'm going to quickly tighten these bolts up, get this into place, and then we'll spin it and see if we get a squeak or not, shall we? Alrighty, everyone. So, check this out here. So, we've been able to get this going here. We've got, I quickly put the cover back on, and then there you go, line that up there, cover on. And then we got to put these 3 little 12 millimeters back in on 10 millimeters, sorry, on this side. And then once we got the 10 millimeters in, holding that together real quick. Not going to worry about tightening it quite yet. We're then going to quickly put the 3 screws back in. That way, the cover hopefully stays in place. Whoops. There you go. Now it's lined up properly. See if we can get these screws in here. Oh. There you go, 1 screw in. Now the reason it's hard to align the cover is because of the spring, right? There's the spring connected to the cover here from the brake assembly, and it's pulling on the cover. Oh, I can't see what I'm doing. Hold on, let me just move over real quick. I was sitting behind the camera, but that's just not working. I can't see the hole. I can't. Let's see, can I get this one in here? If I can get one of these 2 in. Ow! Hit my head on the rack. There you go. So we got the 2 side screws in. Mr. Chipmunk coming to say hi, seeing what's up. Literally behind the camera. Looking at me, watching what I'm doing, just strolling by constantly. I'm friends with the squirrels and the chipmunks around here. If you don't believe me, that's fine, but for years I've fed them all. And not only that, but my shed that you've seen on camera here behind me now, to the side of y'all, the shed is a safe space for all the squirrels and chipmunks from all the different animals around the area. And they know I'm not going to attack them or anything, right? So it's pretty nice. Now we just got to tighten up these 10 millimeters, and we'll have this brake assembly back together with new grease and hopefully positioned properly and not falling apart anymore, and hopefully it doesn't squeak as much or at all. I don't know. I feel like it's still going to squeak until they're even, right? Until the 2 brake pads start becoming more even again. They're always going to squeak a little bit, I think. Maybe not. I don't know, right? But I feel like until they're even, they're going to squeak a little bit. But the only way to get them down to being even again is to use them, right? Or to take time and sand them down by hand or whatever, but I'd rather just use them. I don't mind a squeak here and there. There you go. Beautiful. The spring and the mechanism squeak a lot. So we're gonna quit now that we got it closed up and tightened up. We're now also going to add some grease to the outside of this spring and the mechanism here, because hopefully it'll help. I don't know, right? I have no idea what I'm doing. Still just learning, but in my opinion, if it's squeaking, lubricate it. So lubricate all these parts here. There you go. So pretty well lubricated at this point. There's a lot of grease in there. It's gonna move around, and hopefully, like I said, hopefully that'll help. There you go. Wipe our hands again. Now, I forgot to mention, there's this little 10mm bolt on the end here. Oh, 12, sorry. I don't know what it does. I don't know what this bolt is or how it works or whatnot, but there you go. It's tightened back up. The brake is working. It gets pulled back into spot. Not all the way because the spring at the front isn't going, but it doesn't keep it much. Now, it still squeaks every once in a while, as you hear, right? But instead of a constant squeak, beautiful. That's literally just the brake pad rubbing against the rotor because it's not even. Nothing I can do about that other than just wait for them to become even as we use them. And so we're gonna start using the brakes. Sweet, we got working brakes. Oh man. Now that we got this done, we're gonna put the tools away. Always make sure you put all your tools away at the end of every little project. Clean everything up, make everything ready for the next one, right? And wipe down the tools, get any excess crap and grease off of them. You don't want to get every last bit, but it can be a bit hard to use the tool if there's too much grease and you literally can't hold on to them, right? So I've dealt with that a few times now. There you go. Everything was wiped off. That's for the rack there, the knob to hold the rack in place. I only have one of the two, but that's okay. There you go. Everything is, oh, the impact driver. I was using it to try and get the screws out of the brake cover, but I didn't want to hit it any harder than I was because I was worried about breaking the cover or bending it or something, like on the little metal tabs on the edge here. And so that didn't work, and I just used the heat, and the heat and a screwdriver worked perfectly fine. Now we're going to grab the wheel and throw the wheel back on, and we'll be done. Holy crappy yola! Let's see here. What's going on? Almost got the wheel on. There you go. Got 4 washers up here. As I drop everything into the leaves, that's nice. There you go. Now this is a 12mm, but with an extension and a size, yeah, you need the size change because this is a long 12mm with the small inlet, so you need the 1/4 inch inlet for it. I think that's what it is. So now we got to put all our washers back on here, and slowly but surely tighten these wheel nuts up, and we'll be off to the frickin' races. Holy, where did the other, haha. I keep misplacing the bolts. There you go. Now we'll be off to the races with this being done. Holy crap, this is awesome. Hopefully you're all enjoying the video so far. We're gonna have to do a off camera after this. I'm gonna do a second rinse for the rims, and then we're gonna take the Yamaha out for another little ride in the forest in a little while. Not right this moment because I'd like to have something to eat before I go out there, but now that it's ready, I'll go and grab the battery. And well, it's a nice day, so I might actually take the motorcycle out first. Unfortunately, I can't really take you along for that, but that's all right. take the motorcycle out for a quick ride, and then we'll come back and do some mudding out in the forest, and hopefully we can do some first-person mudding like the last video. And I was also thinking that we could possibly do a bit more work out there. I'm just not sure, because, well, I'm not very comfortable using the chainsaw because we don't have any safety equipment to be using a chainsaw. And some of those trees are too big to cut down with just the bush trimmers. And so I might have to try and use the hatchet, but that's just gonna I'm gonna throw out my back before I get through it, right? And I just don't know if that's really worth it. So it might just be some mudding, and we gotta, like I said, we gotta rinse the rims again, and then we gotta paint the rims. And so after the mudding, we'll do some painting and get that first half of the rims done. So we'll pick this back up in a couple minutes. Hopefully you're all enjoying. Stay tuned, everyone. And we're done. Alrighty, everyone, welcome back. Now we got the Yamaha ready. Let's go get it out in the forest. Let's see if it squeaks. I did set up the tripod here. Hopefully we can get some kind of first person. I zip tied it around here and to the front rack, and the leg here is like, I don't know, right? We'll see how this works. You seem to have a decent view here, eh? There you go. Beautiful. Oh, low battery. There you go. Okay, so I'm thinking point it down like this at the front of the three-wheeler, so that way you can actually like see where I'm going, right? And see the ground, see what I'm talking about. So let's pick this back up when we get out there, shall we? All right, here we go, everyone. Let's see how this goes. We now have a back brake, working back brake. Hell yeah. I'm using the back brake. Beautiful. Haha, and it's not squeaking. There you go. Let off the back brake and it lets off. No squeaking. We did it. Like I said in the last video, I was 99% sure it was just the back brake squeaking. And it seems to be I was right. Hell yeah. Sweet. Hopefully you're all enjoying. Let's see what we can get going out here now. Take our time, go this way now. Woohoo! Turn this way, because why not? Yeah! Oh, turn to the left. Oh yeah, we went here yesterday. I know where we are. Beautiful. At a bit of too much of an angle. Whoop. There you go. I had hooked my front wheel on that log at an angle and it didn't want to bounce over it. Well, we got it, Learning as we go. As a kid, I never really got to do this very much. There was a couple times where my friend brought his four-wheeler over, or his dirt bike, from down the street. Uh-oh, I remember this too. Yeah, we got a reverse here. There you go. And when he brought his over, we had a little bit of fun out here, but only a very slight amount. He was always scared to get it dirty. And so he never wanted to go through the mud for more than like 10 minutes. And so we did that like 4 or 5 times over the 5 years we were friends. Like, never did it really much. But this is what I've dreamed of doing since I was just a little kid, literally. Like, I've always begged my parents, please, 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 just for this. And I'm fucking doing it. We figured out how to get it done on our own, and we're doing it. Haha, living the dream. making it possible, making it a reality. Hopefully inspiring you guys to do the same. And I've got Tourette syndrome, scoliosis, and sorry about that, everyone. Just ran right into the branch you see in the camera there. I thought the camera was gonna go under it, but it went straight into it. As I was saying, I suffer from migraines and Tourette syndrome and scoliosis. Woohoo! Yeah! This is what it's about right here, the mud. Oh my God, yes. And I can't really do as much as I'd like to in life at times, right? It can make it quite hard to get around or even just to get out of bed. Like this morning. Oh no! I need more speed for this. Hold on, we got this. Uh-oh. We might be a bit stuck. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Hold on. Kind of slipping and sliding a little bit. There you go. Uh-oh. All right. Just like that. And we got the front wheel out of the hole. Oh, that's a deep hole. All right, everyone. So we did it. We got it somewhat out of the mud. We're still in the mud, but we're out of that little pit there. We're getting out of here. Check this out. Let's see what we got. Yeah! Picked up the rear end as I gave it some throttle. Got it out of there. I want to do that again. I want to try and get through that. Uh-oh. Okay. So what we're going to do, take our time here. I got too many bugs in my face. I can't really think clearly right now. There you go. Beautiful. Holy crud. That was a lot of bugs. Oh, it was like a mosquito nest or something. There was a whole swarm of them. They were eating me alive, man. Holy crap. Let's go over this way. We'll see what else we got possible to take on. Go back to the mud pit you saw in the last video. Down this way. Woo. Oh, normally I go around that second tree. Whoops. Uh-oh, 10%. That's okay. Hopefully you're all enjoying. We're killing the phone doing this. Let's go. Alrighty. Point you all down a little more. Maybe you can see a bit more of the mud splashing. Whoa. Let's go. Maybe we can turn the camera around and point it towards us. Hold on a second. Yeah, let's try that real quick. Hold on. Turn me around. And then, let's see here. Let me just, well, I'll be right back, everyone. Alrighty, everyone. Welcome back. Let's see what we got here. Let's see, second gear. Get going here. Hopefully you can see some of the mud. I'm really not sure what you're gonna see. Oh man. Super tight turn. Back up into second. Let's go. Put my weight over the front wheel, help it get a nice, quick, tight turn. Get it back up into second. Oh, shoot. Let's go! Oh man, I love this thing. I hope it inspires you to get up and do what you gotta do, man. I might not be able to work, but I might not be able to work a full-time job. Hey, the branch took my hat. Where did it even go? Oh, branch took my hat off. So, as I was trying to say, yeah, like, I can't really work full-time, right? But what I can do is spend a bit of time here and there outside doing some work on these machines and recording YouTube videos. Much easier, in my opinion. I'm pretty sure basically anyone would say that YouTube is easier than a real job, but that's not to say that YouTube is just some easy thing anyone can do, right? Pretty much anyone can, but it does take, you know, it takes effort, right? Just like anything in life. It's not just gonna happen overnight. So far, we're 3 years into this. 3 years! It's been so much fun, and I love it every single day. Woo! I've dreamed of being a YouTuber since I was 12 years old. So, I don't mind taking my time getting to the end. Alright, back in the mud here, in the swamp. Yeah. Ran into that same branch as earlier. Almost took off the phone, not this time though. Alrighty. There we go. I love having reverse. Reverse makes it so much easier. Oh, that's deep, that's deep, that's deep. First gear. No messing around. Get through it. Get through it. There we go. We got through it. All right, this is it. This is the spot that took us out earlier. Let's see what we got here. Second gear. Yeah, we got it! Woo! Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Hold on. Slightly stuck here. There you go. Just like during winter. During winter, we had to pick it up like that and do the same thing. Oh, Lord, this is... Woo, we got through it. Yeah. All right. That's not good. This is deep. Okay. Hold on a second here. All right, quickly got us out of that hole. There is a rock in the center. So I had to pick it up over the rock because it was on the differential. I didn't want to break it. But we got out of there. It's a bit different now that there's no snow, right? So relearning the actual path and where we can and can't go. But the phone's gonna die, and not only that, but this video is gonna be like 30 minutes long now. Hopefully you enjoyed. Hopefully you're all watching it through. Oh, that's a big rock. Hold on, there you go. And if you did enjoy, be sure to leave a like in the comments with your favorite part. Consider also subscribing for more content. We've been trying to keep it somewhat... Woo! Come on. There you go. Trying to keep it... come on! There you go. Up and around the tree. Trying to keep it around Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 9 a.m. If I'm late for one, I upload it on the next one. I'm not trying to force it, right? I just want it to be fun and enjoy it like I have. So, thank you all so much. We'll see y'all in the next one. Peace out, everyone.